This is Shelley Craft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Harris Group Meet the Portfolio Day right here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. I have Tim Jenks of NeoPhotonics Corporation, symbol NPTN on the NYSE. Tim, welcome to SNNLive.
Shelley, thank you very much for having me today.
And I'm sure you're having fun at the Harris Group Meet the Portfolio Day.
Absolutely. A lot of interesting technologies, interesting companies, and great business opportunities. So happy to be here, part of it.
So now let's get the overview on your company.
Well, NeoPhotonics, we make chips that deliver to you voice data and video. So if your internet or your mobile phone gives you a very clear signal so that you can watch your choice of movie live in your pocket, it's partially because of the bandwidth that we provide.
What differentiates your chip from other chips?
Well, we make a kind of chip that's called a photonic integrated circuit. So it's a PIC, and that is it's a chip that works with light as light. So essentially, light goes into the chip, it's manipulated by the chip, and essentially all of the networks today that provide you voice data and video are really optical. So just keeping the light in the light domain is what our chips do.
What are the advantages?
Well, essentially, it's the similar advantage to used in electronics. We're all familiar with the idea that in electronics you can take thousands of devices and make them into an integrated circuit. Now you can do that with optics too.
So as things get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and nanotech becomes what everyday usage, where do you see it going product-wise and expansion-wise in the marketplace?
Well, today what's happening is that everyone is using more and more bandwidth, and SNN is a good example of using more and more bandwidth. And so our chips are essentially helping deliver your message every day in the optical domain by essentially wireless means or desktop means. The chips actually make it possible for the bandwidth that's being consumed. Essentially, there's an order of magnitude increase happening almost annually in the amount of bandwidth we use, and we have to keep up with that. That's what our technologies do. So
your growth is selling more chips.
Our growth is selling more chips and more modules that use them, and selling those all over the world to deliver higher speed, higher bandwidth, and essentially the voice data and video that we all need.
Now, as an example, try to pick one product that uses more than one chip.
Essentially, all of today's network communications go on a wavelength, on a color, and just to deliver that, there might be as many as 10 different chips from where the broadcast is made to where you receive it. So it's high concentration of chips.
Business is good, I take it.
Business is quite good, and I appreciate the fact that everyone seems to be increasing, not decreasing, their use of bandwidth. That's a real driver for our business and a driver for our growth.
It seems to me, though, when I hear about it and research it, bandwidth seems to be going down in price.
Bandwidth tends to go down in price at a slower rate than the bandwidth use goes up, so the business continues to grow.
So where do you see the company going from this point?
Well, as a company, we see the applications of these high bandwidth solutions now spanning not just telecommunications, but telecommunications, enterprise, storage, even entertainment. So there are lots of directions that use more and more bandwidth.
Now, how do you expect to compete in the Asian market, for instance? I just want to I thought I'd pick another market besides North America.
Well, in fact, much of our business is in Asia, and a lot of the telecommunications equipment companies now operate in Asia, particularly in China. So, in fact, more than half of our business comes from China today. So we are competing there aggressively, and I have more than 1,000 employees there.
You know, every time I've gone into a question like that, usually the CEO say, as a matter of fact, I'm on my way to the airport now. I'm going to Asia to one of my plants or to see a client. So I get it. I know the growth in technology is definitely happening over there. So you are manufacturing chips in China?
No, we actually manufacture our chips in Silicon Valley primarily, and then we do all of our package assembly and test, as well as a lot of research and development activity in Asia and particularly in China.
Ladies and gentlemen, interesting. Let's get a website for you to go and check out more information. Website?
www.neophotonics.com.
And it's easy enough to spell. It's high tech, so I'll help you anyway. NeoPhotonics.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim Jenks, NeoPhotonics Corporation, symbol NPTN on the NYSE. I want to thank you for coming on to SNN Live.
Shelley, delightful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.